Hello and welcome.
To the Delusional Boyfriend Book Club, where if shipping One Piece characters is wrong,
I don't want to be right.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Wolf.
Today we're talking about One Piece Volume 10. If you are reading on the Shonen Jump app, you are going to want to read chapters 82 through chapter 90. If you guys haven't already, rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. Our One Piece episodes drop every Tuesday, and the BL romance episodes drop every Thursday. And we are in Arlong Park fighting Arlong. Last chapter, we had Nami asking Luffy for help, and that's where we pick up in this chapter. The whole village is at Arlong Park to help fight, but Johnny and Yasuko are holding them back and letting the Straw Hats deal with all of the trouble. So Wolfgang, will you take us through Volume 10?
Sure. The way the book starts is Luffy is introduced to Arlong. They haven't really seen each other up until this point. Luffy goes up to Arlong and says, "You've made my navigator cry." It's a really nice panel shot of Luffy looking intensely at Arlong, and then he immediately punches Arlong in the face.
Which is nice because nobody has really gotten the upper hand on Arlong yet. He has a really powerful crew. The Navy's come to help out the village, and the crew immediately sinks the Navy's ship. So it's kind of cool to see somebody get a punch in on Arlong's fucking face.
And so he gets a punch in. A lot of his fishmen, like minions, kind of step forward to help him out. And Momo, is it?
Momu, the sea cow, pops up. They kind of call on the sea cow, and immediately Luffy
he does like a whirlwind move with him.
Gum Gum Windmill.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
He spins him and shoots him off into the ocean, so the fishmen can't rely on that. And then the rest of the crew kind of each gets split off with a different fishman to fight.
So pretty much what happens is this is like the first official crew battle I actually have, and so you have Usopp, Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy all step up to go against Chu, Hachan, Karubi, and Arlong is the four. This is like the actual first pirate on pirate like crew you get, crew battle.
Tell me who you think was the cutest. Did you like Hachi, the octopus man, or the guy with the kissy lips, or the guy with the shark fin elbows? Who did you think was the cutest?
Probably Hachan, the octopus man.
The octopus? You didn't like the kissy mouth guy?
No, he's dumb. Do you like that guy?
No, his face is so awful. I hate him so much. Probably the guy with the shark fin elbows who does the elbow move. He's probably the hottest, but he does have a fat neck, and I don't like that very much.
He's the weirdest one. Is it the manta ray?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a manta ray.
He's a manta ray man.
Okay, so then Arlong has a big, long nose and huge teeth, and Luffy is fighting Arlong.
He's a Sano shark.
Oh, okay. And then up is fighting the guy with the big kissy lips. And this is one of my favorite fights in the anime.
Loverfish.
The loverfish or the kissy?
Yeah, it's like a loverfish. It's that one that is tropical and has massive lips. Anyway.
So he fights Usopp. And this is one of my favorite in the anime because Usopp really shows his bravery for the first time. I was really excited when I read it in the manga because it's just as climactic in the manga with seeing Usopp finally be in a real pirate battle and having to hold his own.
So anyway, what happens is when Luffy does the windmill attack, he gets his foot stuck in the cement, and then Hachan, he does like an ink attack. Luffy can't move; it gets all over his face. Arlong grabs Luffy's entire cement foot and throws him in the water, and it becomes kind of like this weird 3v3 battle, but time is on the line because Luffy has to get rescued in a certain limit or else he's going to drown.
Yeah, so he's already an anchor because he's a gum man. So he cannot swim in the ocean, but now his feet are also attached to concrete. So he's sinking really fast. The village people are watching, and Nami's dad basically, or the guy who raised Nami and her sister, are watching Luffy sink. And they're like, okay, everybody else from the village, don't make a scene. We're going to jump in after him, try to save him. So those two go down to the bottom of the ocean to try to free Luffy, and he's drowning. They end up pulling his head up onto shore because he has a stretchy neck, and they kind of pump the water out of his lungs and are keeping him breathing with his head on shore while his body's down at the bottom of the ocean. So that's one part of our crew. Nami is still in the village at this point.
Yep.
She's still kind of having a crash out and hasn't figured out yet like what she needs to do and hasn't pulled her courage together. And then we have Sanji and Zoro fighting Arlong and his men on shore. And then we have Usopp, who interfered in this fight with the kissy fish, and the kissy fish runs after him. So
he like shot his slingshot at him and then like ran.
So they're running off on the side of the village. So they've kind of split up the gang a little bit. And from here, we have Zoro and Sanji taking the lead, which is fun because we haven't seen them fighting. We haven't got to see them fight in a minute. Zoro has a huge wound on his stomach fighting Mihawk. And he's kind of played off to everybody that he's all recovered and better and ready to fight again. And so Johnny and Yasuko are holding off the villagers and they're like, yeah, just let brother Zoro handle it. But we come to find out that he's worse for the wear. And Sanji, we haven't seen fight yet. So he goes down into the ocean to free Luffy and kick his cement. But this is when we get the manta ray guy come in.
Who jumps in. The battles are like they're like one after another.
Yes, so, everybody's kind of fighting at the same time in different places. Yeah. Simultaneously. That's probably the word you're looking for.
No, is that what it is? Simultaneously, one after another?
Well, I guess subsequently.
Subsequently was what I was looking for. So it's subsequently. So like it's one of those things where like because they're trying to save Luffy in a certain time to get his breath in a certain way. Before I think like 2 minutes in the anime, I think it says like you have like 2 minutes to save Luffy. But in the manga itself, it doesn't say that.
So we have Sanji going down to save Luffy. Zoro was going to swim down there, and Sanji's like, you are not as good a swimmer as I am. I'm going to have this all dealt with. And back to Oda drawing feet. There's this whole panel with Sanji's feet as he's diving down.
I didn't even notice.
So many feet shots in this.
That's so funny.
Everybody's kicking in this episode. A lot of like kicking feet, bare feet in sandals happening here. Sanji swims down, and then this manta ray comes up behind him. There's a lot of cheap shots in this volume. And the manta ray gets him with that forearm and hits him in the back of the neck. Sanji starts to drown until the manta ray says, you can't save Nami, you can't save anybody. And then Sanji pulls his shit together and is like, I absolutely will save Nami. Watch out. And he blows a bunch of water into the manta ray's gills, which I thought was a sick counter defense.
Yeah, no, it's good. I wouldn't have thought of that. It's a really good one.
It was really smart. So then
because if you blow air into it, the gills, apparently they can't breathe. It's like the reverse.
I love that part. It was really smart of Sanji. And Sanji's very cute in this episode.
He's a chef.
Yeah.
So he knows these things.
He knows a lot about fish, and he says to him, you're pretty stupid to fight a chef as a fish because I know how to chop up a fish. So he pops up to the shore, he gets some air, and then he goes back down to keep helping. And on the shore, we have Zoro fighting Hachi, the octopus. Hachi is determined to do the 6-sword style and is fighting Zoro, who only has 1 sword, and pretty much staving him off for the most part until he gets a hit into his wounds and opens his wounds back up. And then he yells for Johnny and Yasuko to throw their swords to him. And he finally pulls out 3-sword style against Hachi, which is pretty fun. And
did you think it was hot when it showed his wounds? Because it's like his whole entire chest is opened up and you can just see all blood.
I would have thought it was hot if I didn't think it was so gruesome. It was kind of scary the way it's drawn with black blood everywhere and the staples popped open on his chest. It's gory, but it was pretty hot. I liked it a lot. And then Zoro is a little bit out of commission, but Arlong starts to get him. And he had told Sanji before he went down again, you've got like 30 seconds before I pass out. Like, I am on the verge of death here. And everyone can see that he's on the verge of death. And Johnny and Yasuko are like, is that the look of death in his eyes? Is he going to give up? And Sanji goes down and he ends up kicking the rock. And at the same time, Hachi had come down. Zoro got Hachi, and Hachi thought he could still swim, and while he's going down, his wounds burst open. So they've effectively eliminated Hachi. Now over on the side we have Usopp, and he's fighting the kissy guy.
Yeah, he's in a random field.
Swampy area.
It's a swampy field that has a bunch of trees around. So he's over there. He's playing dead. He has like ketchup all over the front of his chest. He's on the ground. This is like the first like big Usopp fight.
And in the anime, it definitely made me like him. And in the manga, same thing. You're initially disappointed in him because he's playing dead. And then he plays out this whole situation in his mind where he's like, I have to go back and tell Nami and Zoro and Luffy and Sanji that I got beat. And then they're going to ask to see my wounds, and I won't have any bad wounds. And they're going to say, oh, we would have died before defeat. So I guess good for you. You didn't die, but you're also kind of a coward.
Yeah, no, he's trying to figure out how he's going to be a coward and still be friends with his friends and laugh with them and be happy. And So he has a really hard time doing that.
He kind of decides he can't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That there's no way to go back to these people and be a part of their crew if he's not going to pull his weight. So
after playing dead,
he gets up and he uses every trick in the book. And we know he's a liar. We know that he's good at spinning tall tales. So he does a bunch of sneaky things like pointing in the wrong direction or pretending he's throwing something. And it continuously fakes out the kissy fish until he can get some real moves in on him. And then he hits him with the star, hits him with some more exploding stuff.
Yeah. So like his third, I think he starts shooting him with his little
slingshot.
Thank you.
He's a rubber band attack.
Rubber band is one. That one's really funny. But then the next one he hits him with right after that is a bottle of vodka. And it seems like really not a thing for a second. You're like, oh, it doesn't matter because he keeps going back and shooting other things until the fish man messes up. And then he throws a fireball at it. And because alcohol and fire go together, it blows up the fish man. That's how he wins.
It's awesome.
And then he keeps beating him with a bat. It's funny because you have like a serious fight in this. A fight where you don't know who's going to win. So like Zoro's a serious fight. Sanji's the one you don't know if he's going to win or not.
Yeah.
And then you have a pure comedic fight, which is Usopp.
And then Luffy is always comedy, and his head is literally stretched all the way up onto shore while his body sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And you're worried he's going to die, but you're also just like, oh my gosh, as a captain, you are just goofing the fuck around. Even when you're dying, this is so goofy. So we see Usopp, he has a rubber hammer, like a rubber mallet, and he's kind of a clown. And he does finally beat this guy. And then he's really proud of himself. And he runs back and he's thinking to himself, this is my first pirate victory. And he gets back. He sees that Zoro is fighting with Arlong, and he gets a couple guys to try to gang up on Zoro, and he gets them with the slingshot. And what I love the most about Usopp is that you can tell his evolution is going to be so great from a guy who slings rubber bullets and uses rubber bands to a guy who's a sniper with actual weapons.
Yeah, 100%. That's what he ends up becoming. It's really cool.
Sanji starts off a good fighter. Zoro starts off an amazing swordsman. And even Nami has a lot of combat skills. But Usopp starts from ground zero. He has like almost no skills other than he can hit things with his slingshot. But you can tell he's going to get even better. So he gets back to the fight. He says, I've got your back, Zoro. And he starts shooting the guys who are trying to gang up on Zoro's fight. And he actually is really good backup, like a sniper would be in battle, shooting down people around you so you can finish the mission. So as he's doing that, Nami comes back to the village and she sees him helping out, and she's kind of surprised that everybody is kicking ass. And Nojiko and Genzo are holding Luffy's head up on water, and they're just like, everyone's alive. Like, everyone is kind of kicking ass where we might win this thing. And Nojiko says, I have this sense of hope returning to me. Are they really going to take back the East Blue for us? And that's when Sanji breaks that concrete and Luffy gets flung back onto shore and right into Arlong. So Zoro like sneaks away to the side to get some rest because he's on the verge of death.
No, so what happens is Luffy gets broken out of the thing, is flying towards Arlong. Arlong is holding Zoro up in the air like this because he's kind of been fighting Zoro the whole time. Luffy grabs him by the back of his shoulders and he says, let's switch spots, and then sends him flying.
Yeah.
And so you actually don't know where Zoro's gone, but he ends up flying like towards the village.
It's so funny. And then you see Zoro land on the side of this wall, and he's kind of starts napping immediately, which is Zoro's go-to move. Every time he's hurt, he has to fall asleep to regain his strength. Sanji's sitting next to him, and they both look at each other, and Nojiko and Genzo are there, and they say, the kid's got to take it from here. If he can't win, we're all dead. And Nami is standing there watching, and Arlong looks over at Nami and says, I will let you live. I'll kill all these other humans, and I'll let the Cocoa villagers live. If you come back to me and be my cartographer, I will let all of them live except for the Straw Hats. I'll kill the Straw Hats. Nami has this flicker of indecision where she can't tell if it's the more responsible thing to save all the villagers and go back to Arlong or to stay with the Straw Hats. And then she yells out to all of the Cocoa villagers, fight with me and die with me. And they are all like, yes, Nami, you're finally going to fight back against these guys instead of believing their lies and trying to work with these villains. Sometimes you can't work with villains and you can't negotiate with terrorists. You just got to fight back. And it's a really bold, brave move. And Arlong sees that he's really lost her. He can't get her back. So Luffy, seeing his whole crew is depending on him, starts to fight Arlong. And I love this scene where he picks up these swords and he starts whacking at Arlong. And Arlong,
Yeah, he just randomly gets swords and starts flying around.
and Arlong is like, you can't even use a sword. What are you trying to do? And he's just like, you're right. I can't use a sword. I can't tell a lie. I can't navigate and I can't cook. And that's why I have my friends. And I know if I lose this battle to you right now, they'll come in here and save me. So I'm going to do my best and we'll see how far I get. And he kind of gets the sword stuck in Arlong's teeth and punches him and it breaks all of Arlong's teeth. And you have a moment of hope.
Yeah, but he's a shark. And so he just grows them all back.
And then not only does he grow them all back, he has all of his old teeth as like little dentures. So he starts kind of nipping like this, like.
That's where this one ends. Is he kind of like, because he's like, fishmen are superior to humans, and so he's able to take his teeth out and use them as little like maraca. What are they?
Little musical symbols.
Yeah, little things. But it's like funny because he's like, it's a really cool move. I actually really like Arlong. I don't like his personality, but I like his character design.
His character design is cool. But then Luffy sticks one of his own guys in front of Arlong and he chomps his own guy up, which was hard to watch. He's like, Arlong, stop, it hurts. And it's his own man. And that's where it ends.
It ends like right there.
Were you going to ask if I think Arlong's hot?
No. Do you think Arlong's hot?
No. I like when he asks Luffy, he says, do you know the difference between us? And Luffy says, our noses, our chins.
Do you think any of the fishmen are hot?
I think, as far as the fishmen go, I didn't think a single one of them was hot. And I think they're pretty much drawn ugly. They're drawn really ugly. And maybe that's because they think they're so superior. The people who claim to be like the superior race are the most fuck ass anyways. And I really didn't like any of them. I didn't like them. I don't like their proportions. They're too big. Don't have a crush on any of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like this volume?
I love this volume.
I think this is probably one of my favorite volumes we've read so far.
It was exciting. Every Straw Hat member except for Nami fights in this fight. And we have a lot of comedy going on and a lot of different powers, different moves. We have the Gum Gum Bell, which is a headbutt from Luffy. We have Gum Gum Gatling. We have the Gum Gum Windmill. There was Zoro's fight where we get the Onigiri and the dragon. We got to see a lot of Usopp's new powers. And then for the first time in this volume, we really get to see Sanji like fight.
He like destroys the guy once he gets out of water. I think this is one of the better ones we've had so far. The next one, it gets really spicy too, because it's the end of
spicy in romance novels means sexy.
Well, spicy in fighting novels means spicy fighting. So we get some real good. Maybe there's some spicy scenes for you girls in there.
Well, in this one, we're starting to see Zoro and Sanji's rivalry a little bit. And I really appreciated that.
I'm sure this is the start of a lot of the fanfic.
Because Zoro's hurt and Sanji kind of pushes him aside and says, you crap swordsman, and then dives down and deals with the problem so that Zoro won't get more hurt. And you can see that he's trying to protect Zoro, but he can't just say, I'm trying to protect you.
They're big rivals. It's kind of funny.
They're in love.
So who's your delusional boyfriend this week?
Can you guess?
Who is Courtney's delusional boyfriend this week? Let's see. Maybe Nojiko?
No, Nojiko is my delusional boyfriend from last week.
Okay, well, I mean, she could have been twice because she was kind of helping Luffy. Is it Usopp?
Usopp's already been my delusional boyfriend twice.
I know.
Or maybe 3 times.
It would have been very cringe if it was the third time.
I can't believe you didn't guess it. Sanji's my delusional boyfriend.
It was Sanji? Okay.
Sanji has not been my delusional boyfriend yet. I know I talk a lot of shit on Oda and his drawing of feet. Sanji's feet don't bother me. And there's some cute little toesy woesies.
Little piggly wigglies.
Little piggly wigglies. And Wolfgang, his dad is in the Navy and he's a very good swimmer. When I first saw you swim, when I was like 19, we went on a vacation together and I saw him snorkel and like swim way down into a reef and through the reef. And I couldn't believe he could hold his breath for that long. And a lot of times when you see a man like treading water, it's really icky and gross and it makes you think, oh, that man is ugly. I like women, but not Wolfgang. I usually think that about men.
Gives you the ick, does it?
Yes. When I saw you swim, you were really cute. Sanji's really cute when he swims and he's really good at swimming. And he's one of the only characters who can swim. Mm-hmm. Zoro can swim. And
Nami can. Everyone else in the boat can swim except for Luffy.
Yeah, but Sanji like makes a show of it. It was impressive. I was impressed.
You're impressed by Sanji's swimming.
Yes, I like that he's just all wet down there and he's fighting. He's literally fighting a fish and kicking him. And he's like, your kicks have no effect down here. And he beats the guy anyways because his kicks are very powerful. Zoro is about to get someone is about to sneak up from behind and get Zoro, and Sanji kicks him in the face and gets them out of there. When he sees Nami, he's all beaten down and he's kind of like on his knees and he still goes, Miss Nami. He just loves her and he'll do anything for her.
He throws his cigarette pack out because it's wet. But when he's like, oh, Luffy's going to save us, he's throwing his cigarette pack out because it's wet.
Oh, that's funny. I did notice there was a lot of scenes with him smoking a cigarette. He says to Arlong, I was raised by pirates while he's smoking a cigarette, and he has blood dripping down his face. And I was like, that is my delusional boyfriend. Sanji is my delusional boyfriend from this. Thank God, because the last 3 or 4 volumes, I thought it would be Sanji, and he didn't really do anything impressive. But this, he was very cute, and I continue to love when he smokes his cigarette. It turns into a heart when he's in love. And you're not reading the end of chapter questionnaires with Oda, but it's called the SBS segment. Somebody wrote in and said, how do I get my smoke to come out in a heart? Please teach me. And Oda said, you have to be older than 20 and get a cigarette and breathe it in as much as you can and think of with all the love in your heart, and surely the smoke will come out in a heart. And it was just like so cute and innocent. And I've been a smoker since I was 18. We just quit this January. 10 years of smoking, 11 years of smoking.
Long time.
And every time I see Sanji smoke, it makes me want to light up a cigarette. So it's still just very cute to me, very hot.
You're very much like that with cigarettes and anime. And
yeah.
When we're watching animes and stuff, whenever there's a cigarette being lit, you love it.
When it looks cool, I'm like, I'm cool. I'm going to go sit on my porch and smoke my cigarette all moody. But Sanji was very hot in this. I love his eyebrows with the spirals. And I just saw the live action cast. He will not watch the live action, and a lot of people love it.
Good.
We're going to do a reaction episode for it. But the eyebrows on Sanji are not spirals in the live action. Isn't that criminal? I hate that. Top doesn't have a big nose.
It probably should be somewhat accurate to humans.
People said it'd be too goofy. I don't know, because they made Mr. Three's hair big, and different characters have all the goofiness, but why wouldn't Sanji just have spiral eyebrows? That's stupid. That's the way he is.
In Lemony Snicket, the remake on TV, do you think it's goofy that
Neil Patrick Harris doesn't look just like that old guy?
Well, he kind of does look exactly like. He does a really good job. But like, do you think it's goofy that Neil Patrick Harris is like this man betraying Olaf? And it's goofy, but you have to take out the realism of it and play around with your imagination. I think that's a better casting choice on One Piece, to do it that way. I'm not gonna watch one. I'm not like, oh my gosh, I can't watch One Piece. Sanji doesn't have curly eyebrows.
You would watch it for other reasons.
I don't want to watch it because it's just not my thing. I'm like, I don't want to watch live action.
Okay, you annoy me so much.
There's only some live actions that I think you could do really well for anime, and One Piece, while being very close, I don't think it's one you can do very well.
Like Robin, if you see the Robin casting, that I guess maybe
she looks almost like Robin, sure, perfect. But she's also a hot chick. Okay, I'm not trying to be mean when I say
Zoro looks perfect. Zoro looks just like.
I'm not trying to.
Sanji could have spiral eyebrows. Okay. I stick by that.
But the crew's really not where I'm hindering on this. There's so many other elements, like weird fantasy elements, because the powers, like stretching out like your arms, doing all these things, like making it look really good is hard to do. We haven't even gotten, this is like season arc 1 that you're gonna cover, so getting to arc 2, good luck. Like, that's very hard to cover.
I really like that all of Sanji's powers are in French. That's also very hot.
I was gonna ask you that. You like that?
I like that a lot. But it's like neck meat was the name. And if you yelled neck meat, that's not very sexy. But if you say it in French, that is super sexy. So who was your delusional boyfriend from this episode?
Now I'm just thinking about, like, that's like a pet name for someone. Is like neck
meat. I'm gonna start calling you neck meat.
I don't know about that. I don't have any neck meat. Anyway.
You don't have any neck meat, you're right. Who was your delusional boyfriend?
Oh, I wanted it to be Arlong because I think he's so cool. Like, ever since I was a kid, I thought he was like such a cool character, but he's so mean.
Yeah, he can't be a boyfriend, someone you'd fuck.
I mean, like, I don't know, he was so mean. Nojiko
on this one because she saves Luffy. She keeps him alive the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I almost wanted to say Genzo, but I feel like Genzo's going to have another moment here coming up.
I don't know.
I'm honestly just a little bit traumatized from watching the anime. I thought it would be easier reading back through, but I kind of know what's going to happen. Genzo's a man. He's so hot, and he's got those scars.
He's so hot.
He is hot, and he has a windmill hat, and I kind of want to cosplay him with the scars and the windmill hat, but like as a sexy lady.
Would be sick. Everybody, if you cosplayed Genzo at a con, everybody would go kind of nuts.
Femme Genzo?
Yeah, with the hat with the little fan thing.
And tits.
I mean, sure.
And the scars.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is everyone would go
The
crazy
windmill.
for the windmill hat. Everyone would be like, dude,
Yeah.
she did the windmill hat guy. And like, nobody, the thing is, like, you'd have like maybe 10 people be like, oh, that's Genzo. Oh, shit. No one would know his name. Just be like, that's the wind. That's the wind.
Nami's dad? Is that the guy who's from the
guy.
village?
It's the guy right there.
So that was a really fun volume. Thank you guys so much for listening. Rate, review, and subscribe. If you're on the podcast apps, turn on automatic downloads so that if we ever do bonus content, you get those. And if you aren't listening to my BL and romance episodes, we cover a BL manhwa, a BL anime, a BL live action, and a romance novel every month. And those are dropped on Thursdays. You can catch these One Piece episodes on Tuesdays. And we're so happy that you guys are here. Thank you, Wolfgang, for doing this with me. I love doing our One Piece episodes so much.
I'm having fun reading them.
I can't believe that we're through chapter 90 and there's 1,000 chapters. So we're kind of 10% of the way through.
It's starting to get interesting now
Really
because like now
interesting.
the story begins. I'm having fun reading with you.
The crew's all together. Thank you guys for being our crew. And until next time, remember, sometimes the delusion
Is the solution.
Bye.
See you guys.